You are not stuck. You were never stuck. You were told to believe you are, taught to feel small, conditioned to forget who you are. But deep down, under the noise, under the fear, under the habits that have numbed you, your power is still there, waiting, watching, like a flame under wet ash. Not gone, just buried. And now your time has come to remember, because being stuck is not a state of being, it's a state of disconnection. Disconnection from your vision, disconnection from your purpose, disconnection from the truth that built every empire, every revolution, every great name in history. That truth? You have the power to shape reality, not because the world bends for you, but because it was designed to respond to you. Like an echo responds to a shout, like gravity answers a fall, like fire awakens to the spark. You were not meant to be a passive witness to your life. You were born to be the architect, to bend thought into form, to take the invisible and make it visible. Think of Edison, burning through 1,000 failures until he lit the world. Think of Lincoln, rising from silence and solitude to speak a nation into unity. Think of Disney, a bankrupt dreamer drawing cartoons in a garage, imagining kingdoms before the world saw them. They weren't stuck, they were called, and they answered, not because it was easy, but because their soul had no other choice. The moment you stop searching outside and start listening inside, the moment you realize you were never waiting on life, life was waiting on you, that's when the shift begins. That's when clarity cuts through the fog like dawn over a battlefield. Not because your circumstances changed, but because you did. Your power was never in the conditions. It was in the decision to believe, to act, to rise. And belief, real belief, isn't some wishful thinking wrapped in fake positivity. Belief is a force, a discipline, a weapon. It's the steel behind vision, the fire beneath persistence. When Andrew Carnegie imagined an empire of steel, it didn't exist. He saw it first in his mind, clear, detailed, unshakable. He believed it so deeply, he moved the entire industrial age toward it. This is what Wayne Dyer meant when he said, "You'll see it when you believe it," because the world doesn't mirror what you want, it mirrors what you are. You don't attract wealth by chasing money. You attract wealth by becoming valuable. You don't find purpose by begging for it. You uncover it by removing what you are not. You were not made to beg life for blessings. You were made to command it with focus, faith, and forward movement. And the moment you return to yourself, fully, fiercely, without apology, the current begins to change. Not because the river gets easier, but because you learn how to swim upstream. You were taught to fear the unknown, to fear failure, to fear being different, being too much, wanting too big. But that fear is not yours. It was handed to you, and now you hand it back. Because the greatest lie is not that you're broken, it's that you need fixing before you begin. You begin now, not when it's perfect, not when you're certain, not when the conditions are just right. The oak tree doesn't wait for the rain to be ready. It grows in storms. It grows because of storms. And so will you. That feeling of being stuck is not failure. It's friction. It's the part of your spirit waking up from autopilot saying, "This isn't me anymore. This can't be it. This soul was meant to do more than just survive." And you're right. You are not here to survive. You are here to expand. The pain you feel is sacred. It's the call to evolution. It's life's alarm clock, ringing in the dark to remind you, you've been asleep long enough. This is your moment. Clarity is not a luxury. It's the ignition. Without it, you're just drifting, reacting, surviving, faking purpose behind a mask of productivity. But when clarity arrives, everything changes. It doesn't come in lightning bolts. It comes in stillness. in those silent moments where you finally stop running from yourself. When the noise dies down long enough for your soul to whisper what it's always known. Clarity is remembering, not learning who you are, remembering who you've always been. Before the labels, before the wounds, before the world told you who you were allowed to be. And when you see it, when you really see your vision, not with your eyes, but with your inner knowing, you'll feel it crack something open. That's the spark. Now the work begins. Because clarity without discipline is just a dream. It's the plan with no engine, the seed with no soil. And that's where most people stay, at the edge of vision but too afraid to leap. But not you, not anymore. Discipline is the bridge between the life you dream of and the life you live. It's not punishment, it's power. It's freedom wearing the armor of consistency. Henry Ford didn't revolutionize the world by hoping. He built discipline into machines. He made order out of chaos through systems, habits, and relentless action. Discipline is the decision to show up when motivation doesn't. It's making the call when you'd rather shrink. It's writing the words, lifting the weight, building the business, speaking the truth, when no one is watching and nothing feels certain. It's the quiet promise you make to yourself and keep. And when you keep it often enough, you begin to trust yourself again. That trust, that's self-respect. And self-respect is magnetic. It draws better choices, better people, a better reality. Because here's the law: the world rises or falls to meet your level of self-image. If you see yourself as a victim, you'll find pain in every corner. If you see yourself as a force, you become one. This is why belief matters. Not blind hope, embodied belief. The kind that walks into the room like it belongs there, even before the evidence appears. That's the real law of attraction. Not wishing, embodying. Not waiting, aligning. Becoming so congruent with the life you want that life has no choice but to catch up. Every master you admire once stood exactly where you are. Confused, afraid, full of doubt. But they moved anyway. They aligned their actions with a vision their eyes couldn't yet see. They became the energy of their desires, long before the results arrived. This is how reality bends, not by force but by frequency, by the vibration of belief linked to unwavering movement. And yes, fear will come, resistance will rise, the world will test your resolve in 1,000 ways. But let me tell you something few have the courage to admit. Resistance is a compliment. It's the universe checking your credentials, asking, are you sure? Do you really want this? Are you willing to let go of who you were, to become who you were meant to be? Because you cannot become your next level while clinging to the old one. You can't fly if you're still gripping the ledge. You can't lead if you're still asking for permission. You can't grow if you're still trying to stay comfortable. Growth demands risk. It demands you walk out past the edges of logic and say, I'll build the wings on the way down. That's not recklessness. That's faith in motion. And faith, real, gritty, soul-level faith, isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just the whisper, keep going, because the dream is worth the discomfort.